a successful businessman, was growing old, and knew it was time to choose a successor to take over the business. Instead of choosing one of his directors or his children, he decided to do something different. He called all the young executives in his company together. He said, "It is time for me to step down and choose the next CEO. I have decided to choose one of you." The young executives were shocked, but the boss continued, "I am going to give each one of you a seed today. One very special seed. I want you to plant the seed, water it, and come back here 1 year from today with what you have grown from the seed I have given you. I will then judge the plants that you bring, and the one I choose will be the next CEO." One man, named Joe, was there that day, and he, like the others, received a seed. He went home, and excitedly told his wife the story. She helped him get a pot, soil, and compost, and he planted the seed. Every day, he would water it, and watch to see if it had grown. After about 3 weeks, some of the other executives began to talk about their seeds, and the plants that were beginning to grow. Joe kept checking his seed, but nothing ever grew. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks went by, still nothing. By now, others were talking about their plants, but Joe didn't have a plant, and he felt like a failure. 6 months went by, still there was nothing in Joe's pot. He just knew he had killed his seed. Everyone else had trees and tall plants, but he had nothing. Joe didn't say anything to his colleagues, however he just kept watering and fertilizing the soil. A year finally went by, and all the young executives of the company brought their plants to the CEO for inspection. Joe told his wife that he wasn't going to take an empty pot, but she asked him to be honest about what happened. Joe thought it was going to be the most embarrassing moment of his life, but he knew his wife was right. He took his empty pot to the boardroom. When Joe arrived, he was amazed at the variety of plants grown by the other executives. They were beautiful, in all shapes and sizes. Joe put his empty pot on the floor, and many of his colleagues laughed. A few felt sorry for him. When the CEO arrived, he surveyed the room and greeted his young executives. Joe just tried to hide in the back. "My, what great plants, trees, and flowers you have grown," said the CEO. "Today one of you will be appointed the next CEO." All of a sudden, the CEO spotted Joe at the back of the room with his empty pot. He ordered him to come to the front. Joe was scared. He thought, "The CEO knows I'm a failure. Maybe he will have me fired." When Joe got to the front, the CEO asked him what had happened to his seed. Joe told him the story. The CEO asked everyone to sit down, except Joe. He looked at Joe, and then announced to the young executives, "Behold your next chief executive officer. His name is Joe." Joe couldn't believe it. He couldn't even grow his seed. How could he be the new CEO? The others asked. Then the CEO said, "1 year ago today, I gave everyone in this room a seed. I told you to take the seed, plant it, water it, and bring it back to me today. But I gave you all boiled seeds, they were dead, it was not possible for them to grow. All of you, except Joe, have brought me trees, and plants, and flowers. When you found that the seed would not grow, you substituted another seed for the one I gave you. Joe was the only one with the courage and honesty to bring me a pot with my seed in it. Therefore, he is the one who will be the new chief executive officer." If you plant honesty, you will reap trust. If you plant humility, you will reap greatness. If you plant perseverance, you will reap contentment. If you plant hard work, you will reap success. If you plant faith in God, you will reap a harvest. So, be careful what you plant now, it will determine what you will reap later.